couple of weeks ago, we went live for 24 hours in aid of raising money for Isla Caton through the Bradley Lowry Foundation. This interview is with Ryan Archer. You'll know Ryan from West Ham Fan TV. Him and Nicky do the post-match pint and their fan cams outside the ground, both home and away on match days. This is one of many great interviews that Gio did throughout the 24 hours. And if you do enjoy, make sure to slap a like on the video, to subscribe and pay attention for the second channel, because all the videos over the coming days will be ones from the 24-hour live stream that Charlie manages to edit and put out to you guys. Anyway, that's enough from me. Enjoy the video.
Ryan, how you doing tonight?
I'm not bad, Gio. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm all right for now. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Let's talk about you and West Ham Fan TV. It's something that we don't really hear much of, really. Everybody asks you questions about Martin Noble. Should he start next season? Everyone asks you what you think about the board. Yeah, but no one ever...
I want a lot of Noble loving now.
Yeah, there will be. It's one thing we've got in common, our love for Noble. But anyway, West Ham Fan TV, Nicky obviously formed it, but do you remember when Nicky sort of put the idea to you?
Yeah, I mean, he sort of rung me up with this idea, me, Scott and Graham, and we met in a little cafe just down the road from Nicky's house. And honestly, like, I'm not even making this up. Nicky had a sheet of paper on him. And we're all
like The Apprentice, you know, when they lose, you have to go down to the
and he's drawing like all these, this is where the table's going to be, the lights, we're going to do this, we're going to go in. And Graham didn't have a clue. He didn't know what was going on. But yeah, that's how it started, really. And then I can't remember our first game that we went to. I think we played Man United at home, something like that. And honestly, standing there, me and Nicky were standing there, and you think, right, let's go and interview a couple of fans. And we're standing there and we're going, right, you go and ask him, and you're thinking they're going to go like that. And it was nerve-wracking because we've never done anything like this before. And it took a little while to sort of get into it, but now, like, we don't have to sort of go and get fans anymore. We're outside the London Stadium every week and the away games, and so people come over to us.
Did you have any personal aims when it launched? I'll get Nicky's later when he's on, but you personally, did you think, we could do this with the channel or that with the channel, and I would consider it to be a success?
No, do you know what? It was weird at first because I didn't know what to expect because I've never done anything like it before. As I said, I've never been on YouTube before. I was just new to social media. But I still, from the first fan we interviewed to the fans we interview now, I love meeting fans, and not only on the camera, off camera as well. The amount of people that come up to us and say, "Oh, look, we love what you do," and they talk off camera. Some of them don't want to go on camera. So when people say, "Oh, you only have the same people on every week, we get the regulars on," there are loads of people there as well, but they just don't want to. They don't want to come on and talk.
Yeah, I can second that often because sometimes I'll come over after the game for a quick hello or whatever, and there's plenty of people there saying hello as well. But then,
Gio, I've got a few videos from you from the bowling, mate, when you're out your nut and you're talking on the camera, and I've interviewed you a few times.
Yeah, I'm blast from the past. But no, there is lots of people that congregate around you and they'll chat to you, but I've never seen them on a fan cam, etc., etc. What's your thoughts on where it is today, though? Because obviously it's, arguably as big as the official West Ham's YouTube channel in terms of views, etc. So, did you ever imagine it getting this big? No.
Do you know what? I'll have to send you the video. You go back when we first got our first 100 subscribers, we was over the moon. Like, we was thinking 100 people subscribed to us. I had party poppers on, a wig. I was loving it. And I think we've got about just under 45,000 now, which it's massive for us. But going back to when you're saying like we're the biggest YouTube, because all West Ham YouTube, I love watching your channel. I love, even I miss Hammer and Talk. Not a lot of people liked him, but I just love hearing because you'd have a different view on something. Gonzo would have a different view. Me and Nicky have had stand-up rows, And that's what I love hearing. I love like the West Ham Way and Irons United, all of them. I love watching all their videos just to see what their thoughts are, because I'm thinking, well, I'm saying one thing, I hope that someone else agrees with me, and then I look at you and you're agreeing with me. I go, see, look, Gio agrees with me. Gio's a man.
We usually agree with one another, to be honest. We do have quite similar. It's because of this man. It's because of him.
No. I've got Elvis behind me. I need to get a Mark Noble.
Yeah, Noble is better than Elvis. You need to get that sorted. But what's your aims for the channel today then? Because obviously you've got to the point where 45,000 subscribers. You can upload you could upload a 1 minute video of you just repeating Mark Noble for 60 seconds and we get a few thousand views. So do you have any aims for what's coming up in the future for West Ham Fan TV?
Yeah, I mean, I think Nicky said it on the video the other week. I mean, we sort of let ourselves down a bit last season. You know, we lost our clubhouse where we filmed Post-Match Pint. So Post-Match Pint was sort of like when England went on tour, we was just wherever we could do it. And, yeah, we let ourselves down equipment-wise. You know, everything just wasn't going right. And I'll be honest with you, I mean, I spoke to Nicky. I sort of lost the heart for it a bit. You know, and I think a lot of the boys did, you know, and you think to yourself, because you have situations outside grounds where people come up to you and they sort of take it out on you if West Ham lose, or because we're there, we're easy targets. And you think to yourself, is it worth it? But no, look, we're obviously going to carry on. We enjoy doing it. We've got a few ideas coming up. We want to do more ex-player interviews, which I love doing. I enjoy that. And we want to do more collabs with like yourself and other West Ham channels. And, you know, because there's a lot of people out there that sort of argue amongst each other. And look, we got caught up in a lot of that last season. And that's where I let myself down. But I want to go back to, I've been watching old videos of us. And I went back to the old days when we just enjoyed it. We didn't realise there's a camera there. And we're not worrying about all the social media arguments and things like that. We don't need to get involved in that. You know, we got caught up in a lot of things last season, and we lost a lot of credit, you know, credibility for what we do. We're trying to build that back up. So next season it's going to be fun West Ham Fan TV again, fun Ryan. You know, I want to go back to laughing and joking a bit more. Stop being serious, and you know, just do what I do, support the club I love, and yeah, do what we do.
Have you got your heart back for it then? Because I understand what you're saying, actually. It sort of resonates for me. I had a conversation with Charlie a little while ago about something similar for myself and Hamish chatting. Hope Gonzo's not watching this because he's thinking, what? I don't know about this. I had a little chat with Charlie about it and stuff. But have you got your sort of your mojo back, if you like, or are you still a little bit, we'll see how it goes?
Yeah, I mean, I remember the last game of the season coming out of Watford, filming the fan camps, and I just thought to myself, thank God the season's over. 2 weeks later, we went back to the London Stadium to film a couple of videos, and I was like, I miss it already. You know, you've had this week, you've had the kit launch, the kit being revealed, the surprise signing today that no one knew was coming. I come home, I was thinking, I can't even remember his name, Roberto, or is it Roberto?
Yeah, it's Roberto.
It is Roberto, isn't it? I was like, so I looked him up a bit, and I'm thinking to myself, all right, 33-year-old Spanish keeper, why don't we just keep Adrian? You know, he's a fan's favourite. But look, I'm not worrying about transfers at the moment. But yeah, no, I'm sort of looking forward to it. I want to, as I said, we want to go back to how we were in the beginning. We're not going to get caught up in. See, with me, if someone sort of has a dig at me on social media, I'll get on the defensive, and I think I have to defend myself. But now I just ignore it. And do you know what? I come off Twitter the other week for a couple of weeks just to have a little break, and I come back on. And it's like you needed that little. It was like a detox camp I went on. Just come off of social media for a couple of weeks. And I enjoyed it, and I'm enjoying it now. I'm enjoying being back. I'm looking forward to starting doing my videos next week. Get back on it, and yeah, I think all the boys are really looking forward to it.
You've sort of touched on it there, but how does it affect you, West Ham Fan TV, away from football? Do you know, like in your evenings and your, you know, let's say Saturday's football day, you've got your Sunday with your fiance and stuff. Does it affect your mood and stuff? Yeah,
it does. I mean, like, I think someone said it the other week from another, I think it was the Liverpool boys, the Red Men TV. I think he summed it up perfectly. Back in the old days, you know, you're in school, you and your mate have a little debate over football, you go home, you haven't got a mobile phone. That's it, the end of it. You go to school next day, it's forgotten about. Even growing up as a West Ham fan, you go in the pub before social media, you'll have a little debate after the game, you'll go home, you won't see that person till the week after. Nowadays, it's all night because it's on social media. It just don't end. You know, you can, and then you'll get 10 people jumping on it, and before you know it, you're sitting there for 3 or 4 hours, and you just, like, you've lost half your night, and you're just arguing with a fake profile who's got a picture of Elton John, you know.
Magic Maswag.
Yeah, you just think to yourself, why am I arguing with these people? They're probably like a 10-year-old kid sitting behind the screen, but you just get on the defensive. But yeah, as you say, I mean, sometimes you go out after the game, you know, sometimes we pop down to your boats or we go out to the pubs in Stratford, and you get people come up to you and they talk to you, and I can see my missus sitting over the other side and like she's waiting for me, but I don't like to be rude. I like to listen. I love talking about West Ham. I can talk about West Ham all day long, but sometimes you just need to switch off. You need to switch off sometimes. I need to learn to do that as well.
Yeah, well, enough of the negative stuff. Let's talk about the good stuff. A couple of weeks ago, the weekend after the Watford game, you got to walk out behind Marlon Harewood in a charity match for Isle of Kate. I mean, what was that like, playing football with sort of people you've paid to watch in the past, and you're then getting the ball off them?
You know what, mate? It was unreal experience, and to be asked to play was I'll never forget that day in my life. Obviously, for little Isla Caton, you know, I've known about Isla for a little while now. I mean, even before West Ham sort of got involved and made it public, and because I know one of Isla's cousins. So, I mean, to be asked to play was, and to literally, I walked in that changing room. There was Julian Dick standing there. Now he's my hero. He's my all-time favourite West Ham player, and he's just standing there thinking, "Oh, you're my gaffer today." And I look round, and you've got Jack Collinson there, Harewood there, Colton Cole there, Steve Potts, Kenny Brown,
Christian Daly.
I tell you what, Christian Daly, mate, he could still play now. He's got I turned round. Now, I weren't eyeballing him up in the change room, but sometimes you've got to appreciate it. And he had like a six-pack and everything. And I was like, Christian, you're in better shape now than when you played, mate. And he was
I seen him at an event halfway through last season. He is ripped.
Yeah.
He had a tight top on purpose because he was just ripped.
Well, I was warned before the game. They said, make sure you get in the shower after, before Harewood and Cole get in there. And I don't know what they was talking about, but me and Kenny Brown sort of got in there and then got out a bit sharpish.
Fantastic. Nicky told me you can play a bit though. Nicky gave me like a post-match pint review on your performance. He says Ryan was like the Canning Town Perlo in that game.
Well, that's what Christian Daly called me there, and I didn't know whether he was taking the mick or not. But yeah, me and him done a little 1-2 in the 6-yard box. Got the goalkeeper a bit panicked, but no, listen, I loved it, mate. Look, I ain't played football for a long time, but when you play with these players, it's an honour to play next to them. You know, we had celebrities there as well. Danny Dyer played. I mean, he was. I remember walking in at half time, and he was just sitting in the shower with his shirt off, with a snout hanging out of his mouth, and he was just like, oh. But he was great on the day, and it's great that all these sort of people turn up. You know, for Isla, it was massive. There was a massive crowd there, 2,500. I mean, that's the biggest crowd I've played in front of, and probably ever will play in front of. I said to Konchesky, I said, how do you play in front of like sold out 60, 70,000 like seater stadiums and like FA Cup finals? And he said to me, you don't realise the crowd's there sometimes. And it's honestly, when I got on the pitch, you're concentrating so much on the you don't want to look stupid and give the ball away, and I don't want Christian Daly and Steve Potts having a go at me, that you forget the crowd are there. And it was nice. It's a day I'll never forget.
Fantastic. What's your best sort of memory with West Ham Fan TV so far? You've made quite a bit. You know, we have as well. We made quite a few things you look at and think, can't believe we managed to do that. If you had to pick one at West Ham Fan TV, apart from that, what would it be?
It's a tough one. We've had so many good times. You know, you think of some of the fan cams when, especially in that last season at the Bowling, the wins at like City, Liverpool, Arsenal. You never forget them. But for me, interviewing Frank Lampard Senior was a good one for me, you know, to sit down with him. And I think when you do what we do, it opens up these sort of doors to talk to these players. And Di Canio as well. I mean, we should have had longer with Di Canio. I'm still a bit peed off with that. I mean, we only got 6 minutes, but listen, 6 minutes with Di Canio was still good. It's still good.
Yeah, you sort of spoke about it, but you get a lot of trolls when you're doing like your thing. And I was speaking to X earlier about it because I think it's something a lot of people don't see. I still think people don't see just how much sort of stuff you can get thrown your way. Has it affected you a lot? Does it make you? Have you ever been tempted to walk away? I know you say you lost a heart at West Ham Fan TV. Have you ever been at any point thought, what's the point in all this if we're just getting abuse here and there and stuff? Yeah,
you do. You think to yourself, I mean, because we don't earn out of it. I still work Monday to Friday. You know, I've got a family. I've got a little girl. You do think to yourself, is it worth it? Especially when you get abuse. But it's more online. I don't really get much abuse outside stadiums and things like that. And there's probably people there that abuse me online that see me there, and they're never going to approach you. Well, I hope they don't, because I don't want to get caught up in a little scrap or anything outside the ground. The worst thing you want to do is row with your own fans. But yeah, I mean, I just want to. I enjoy what we do. We have more good times than bad times. I'll say that. And I speak to Nicky every day. Like, me and Nicky have known each other over 25 years now. We're best mates. He's best man at my wedding. Graham and Scott, I've known them over 15 years. Dan, I've known since he joined the channel, which is 3 years. And I know we all enjoy it. I want Graham back. That is what I want. That's my aim for next season. I miss him. I miss the eyebrows. I miss my David Unsworth.
Yeah, I miss his one line in post-match pint. Yeah, I miss him just sitting there for the whole post-match pint and just saying a couple of sentences, and that's his contribution. Say, yeah, I think he had an all right game, and then he just.
I'd say honestly, he's the, when people come up to me, that's the one that, like, the most question I get asked is, where's Graham? That's what, and I say, look, he does the Thames Ironworks thing there, and but I want to try to get him on more next season, especially on post-match pint, because as you said, I miss looking away and just seeing him just sitting there thinking, what's going on?
Right, we'll get. Have you got any questions for Ryan about West Ham Fan TV? Put them in the live chat in a bit. I'm going to talk to Ryan about West Ham now, really. We're saying Roberto today. What is it good that we've signed a player that we didn't know was coming? I mean, this is unusual for West Ham, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's refreshing. I mean, when I see it on Twitter, I thought it was like, I don't know. I didn't think it was real at first. I thought it was one of these made-up accounts and they're just making up. But no, look, I'll be honest with you, I don't really know much about him. I see West Ham put a facts thing on there. I know he's played with Masuaku before, Olympiacos. I think, has he worked with Pellegrini before?
Yeah, Malaga. He was from Malaga, yeah.
So look, I trust Pellegrini. I think he's a good manager. I think he had I think when you look at the start of the season we had last season, I think we ended up having a decent season. The football was a lot better at home. The way we just need to, yourself, you can't keep turning up against the big teams. You need to start turning up against the likes of Bournemouth at home, Wolves at home, things like that. Pellegrini, for me, if he can get his signings right in the summer, I'm not going to do a Nicky prediction and say we're going to finish top 4 and all that, but I think for us, progression next season now is we're finished 10th, trying to break into that top 8 and try to get into Europe, because that's when I think Pellegrini, if we can break into Europe, I think that just opens a lot of doors for West Ham and future signings.
There's a lot of backtracking, if you like, this season about what the next level meant. Next level. What is it to you personally? What do you interpret it as? Not what everybody else is suggesting it should be or what the owners meant. If I said to you, what's the next level for West Ham, what would you reply? I
think it's got to be established top 10 every year, pushing for Europe and trying to win a cup. Look, we're miles away from the likes of City, Liverpool, even Tottenham. As much as we don't like Tottenham and we have that rivalry, you've got to admire the way they've done it over the years. He didn't spend no money last year, and they're playing the Champions League final tomorrow, and they're qualified for the Champions League next season. They've done a great job. So we're miles away from that. But when you look at the teams below that, I mean, even when you look at Manchester United now, we could not rival them in the size of a club, but when you look at their team, they're player for player. They're not that much better than us. So we should be trying to push for top 7, top 6. But it all comes down to who you sign and getting the players ticking, and Arnautovic is going to be massive for us next season, as long as he don't stop again. Because I've forgiven him a little bit, because his last few games, it was like having the old Arnie back. He was putting it in, chasing the ball down. He got himself a couple of goals. He's a big player for us. He's massive. He's probably the best player we've got, up there with sort of like Lanzini as well. But we just need to get these sort of players ticking. And if he can get them ticking with the likes of Anderson, Yarmolenko, it's frightening. It's frightening how good we can be.
The rumoured £30 million budget, I know you and Nicky had an argument a few weeks ago about it, post-match Spain going a bit angry, but what do you make of it? I mean, is it sufficient given the squad we've already got, and if we sort of buy well it is enough, or do you think it's a bit risky to spend little when the likes of Leicester and Everton might spend 100 million or so? Yeah,
I know, it's 30 million to me and you is a lot of money. to West Ham Premier League club trying to compete, it's not a lot of money. But if we can go out and maybe get a marquee signing, sell on a few, because I think we've saved so much money this week getting rid of likes of Andy Carroll, who, look, I'll be honest, I'm quite sad to see him go because I liked Andy Carroll and I don't know what the future holds for him, but I wish him luck. You know, no player wants to get injured. No player, you know, goes out there to get injured on purposely and miss games. You know, it's the same for Jack Wilshere. So I wish him luck. But yeah, we've saved a lot of money with releasing players like him and Adrian, and so I'm hoping that Pellegrini can go out, get the right players. You never know; he could find a little gem like we did with Lanzini a few years ago. Get him in on the cheap, and you know, I think we've got a good squad, fully fit. I think we've got a good squad. We just need a little bit of tweaking. We need to get rid of Hernandez, and we need to get a player up top.
I'll take some questions from the live chat, and I'll ping some more at you. Tony Warren says, my question is, have you got a post-match pint pub sorted for next season, as they are the best videos?
Do you know what? Funny enough, we've actually got a new venue. We've got to go and look at it next week. It's in Stratford. It's near Stratford High Street, so which is perfect for us. You know, it's 10 minutes down the road from where we film Fan Cam. So that's what I was saying. We love doing post-match pint. When you look back at when we had our clubhouse, it was what we love. We love doing. But we lost that last year. We had to go to the Cart and Horses to film, and it's so loud in there. And you know they have like Iron Maiden bands and rock bands, and you know it's not really. But you know we've tried filming different locations, and no, we're looking forward to getting back next season. We've got a few things lined up, and I'm really looking forward to it, especially post-match pint because that's our main show.
The Three Hammer says, what does Ryan make of the Newcastle takeover and envy? Yeah,
because at the end of the day, we all want to be taken over by a rich person who's going to throw money at them. But now Newcastle, it'll go tits up most probably. Fingers crossed.
Do you know something? The more these clubs get taken over, the more I actually almost don't want to get taken over. I'm almost finding it like it's a bit boring or something. There's something about it. I'd actually like to go the way we're going right now. I'm quite happy with what we're doing with Pellegrini, the way we're trying to mould our squad, going after younger players. I quite like it. And I just think Newcastle, for example, are going to come in and throw money. And it's almost like, do you remember LME Manager? Did you ever play LME Manager?
Yeah.
It's almost like that. When then you log into your LME and you whack your L1, R1 or whatever, and bang, you've got 150 million in the bank. It just ruins the game a bit, doesn't it? It just sort of...
It definitely does, mate. It's you've seen what Chelsea have done, Man City have done. It's like you said, it's like playing Championship Manager and you're just coming in and you're buying all these players, you're winning the league, and eventually, you know, when you speak to Man City fans sometimes, it's like they win trophies. You see, they won the FA Cup the other week and their fans, they didn't even look bothered that they won it. It was just natural that they're winning it. If we won that FA Cup, G, I'd still be doing a conga, mate, down around the London Stadium. Even if I'm on my own, I'll still be doing it now, mate. I've never seen us win the FA Cup.
That'd be an interesting fan But the thing is, I agree. And what sort of emphasised it for me is when I was watching the kit launch video earlier today, actually, with like Brooke and all that, they were talking to the kids and not the kids, the players today. And you just thought, like, if you were winning it every season, like Man City are, those videos wouldn't happen because it's sort of like the norm. Could you imagine Aguero trying to, or someone coming in and saying to Aguero, oh, back in the days, Aguero would be looking at it going, mate, I've got about 4 Premier League title medals. I don't need advice from you. So I think you lose a little bit of the magic almost.
The thing is, as well, is that video you're talking about, I watched it last night, and what a great video by the club. You know, the club over the past few years have released some right dodgy videos, but that's up there with one of the best I think they've ever done. You know, to see legends there alongside Mark Noble, Declan Rice, Antonio. You know, I love watching it when they was all baffled by the back pass rule. You know, they was all just sitting there, and the yellow card as well. When he was,
the guy got brought down. Yeah, he got brought down in bench box. Jim Stebbins is saying, after watching that video, do you think the lads have got it in their mind to go for it next season?
Well, when I see Mark Noble in that new away kit, I was already picturing him walking up Wembley steps and picking that FA Cup up. You know, it's a dream for us. You know, when you look at teams like Man City that win the Premier Leagues and Man United have done it, Arsenal have done it. You know, for us, it means so much, and that's why I was so disappointed this year with the AFC Wimbledon game. You know, because we had a real chance this year to not saying we were guaranteed to win it, but we had a chance to get to the final, even getting to a final. You remember back in 2006 against Liverpool. You know, what an amazing day that was. You know, even when we lost, we was all still in the ground after. You know, it's it just means so much to us. You know, we obviously we'd love to win the Premier League, but an FA Cup, even a League Cup would do me.
Yeah, give me the Mickey Mouse Cup. I'll sign up for Disney any day if we get the Mickey Mouse Cup.
The Betway Cup back. I'll take the Betway Cup.
Yeah. Well, we've got that now. We've had it for 1 year. We've been a bit spoiled. The next one is the Premier League trophy in China. We might be able to push for the double. Ash is asking, he's asking everyone this, do you prefer shepherd's pie or cottage pie?
Don't know. Shepherd's pie. What's the one with the carrots in here? I don't know. It's the same, isn't it?
I can tell who cooks at your house.
Oh, mate. No, I'll go with shepherd's pie.
Joe Lancaster said, aside from Fabianski, he must have you said that Fabianski's your favourite signing last season?
No, what it was, we done a prediction video in the summer last year, and I actually said that Fabianski will probably turn out to be the signing of the season. I think Fabianski's great. I said it. Yeah, I think he's one of the best goalkeepers I've seen in my time supporting West Ham. He's up there. He's a great goalkeeper. One signing that obviously Jack Wilshere for me, I've always wanted to see him in a West Ham shirt. Finally get him in a West Ham shirt, and he's had a bad run. But Yarmolenko for me, he was just before he got that injury. He was just starting to show signs of what he was adapting to the Premier League. He got his 2 goals at Everton, so he was up there. But yeah, Fabianski for me was my favourite signing last year.
Andy Walsh says, who would you love to interview out of football?
Out of football, what? So not an ex-player?
No, I assume not. Be a boxer for you, isn't it?
No, do you know what? I think I'll have to go with like Ray Winston. You know, he's a big West Ham fan. I've always been I interviewed him at the Ironman premiere, but that's only like a 2-minute video. Like a 2-minute interview, sorry. And then I see him at a charity thing just before Christmas, and he was drunk. He was out of his nut. And I got him to record a Christmas message to me mum and dad, and he called me a little fucker. So I love that. But yeah, I don't know. It's be West Ham related. Yeah, probably I like Ray Winston, just to have a sit down with him and talk about West Ham and his films. Love and Obey, great film.
Kai Deep Pro said, what does Ryan consider to be a bad season next season?
Relegation.
To be fair, it's a good question, though. I mean,
yeah. I think if we finished 10th this year, we had a bad start. It was sort of when you break it down, it was a poor start. We had a decent sort of middle and a sort of mixed end to the season. But I think if we finish below 10th next year, it's not progression for me. So, yeah, we need to sort of finish above 10th and call that progression. But if we finish below it, if we finish 11th and win the FA Cup, I'll take that.
Earlier you said you sort of forgiven Ananovich. That's a bit of a surprise to me because you're quite stubborn. You're a stubborn person. You're a bit like me. I'm a bit stubborn as well. But are you confident he'll behave from now on, or is there not a little bit of you a bit worried that we're going to see the same tricks happening again if he gets a bit fed up?
Yeah, I mean, when I said I forgive, I haven't fully forgiven. But as I said, like his performances in the last few games, and I think he come out of a statement the other day that he wants to stay and things like that. And he did. The thing is with Payet was an amazing player for us. We all love Payet, and he broke our ups. He walked out on us. He turned his back on Bilic, the fans, the badge. So, but with Anatovich, he didn't get his move in January, but he didn't sulk. He didn't. Well, he probably did behind closed doors. He probably moaned to his wife and things like that. I don't want to play, but he did. He still turned up and he put in performances. I'm hoping next season that especially pre-season, he gets his head down, works hard, and look, he could be a great at West Ham. The fans loved him. I remember when he got sent off at Southampton in his first few games, and then everyone was sort of like, oh, he's going to turn out to be one of these players. And then after that, he turned into a fan's favourite and he won Hammer of the Year.
Interesting. Is he good enough to be the number one striker for you? Because there's a lot of debate, isn't there, if he is a out-and-out striker, and Pellegrini is obviously rumoured to be bringing in a striker. So would you be happy with him as the striker, or do you think we'd need to bring one in?
I think we definitely need to bring one in because it looks like Hernandez is probably going to go we've lost Carroll. Perez is probably going to go. So we probably need another 2 strikers in. But when Arnie starts up top, I'm confident we're going to score. I'll get that feeling with him. So if he plays out on the wing, I think Arnie can play anywhere around that. But if you could sort of get like a triangle of sort of Arnie up top, Lanzini, Yarmolenko and Anderson, I mean, if they're all fully fit, you're going to score goals. They're going to create chances, and as long as he can finish them, he might. If he scores goals, then yeah, he's our main striker.
Is there any strikers you'd like to see brought in?
Do you know what? I've been a big fan of Callum Wilson for a long time now, and I don't think we're going to sign him. I think they're going to ask too much money for him. Gomez, I'll be honest with you, I don't really know much about this Gomez. You go on YouTube and you look on YouTube and everyone looks great on YouTube, apart from us, us on the fan channels, But no, they do. They put the best highlights, but Callum Wilson or some striker that sort of type of player, because Callum Wilson will score you goals.
Yeah, I mean, I want to just talk about something. I sort of mentioned it earlier, but didn't really push you on it. We signed Roberto today. Pretty sure his name's Roberto. I'm starting doubting if he is called Roberto now. You made me doubt it. But we didn't know anything about it. And it always seems a bit hypocritical in a way for us to sit here and say, I don't want any leaks. But then when there is leaks, we do videos about them, don't we?
Yeah. No.
So it feels a bit hypocritical. But is this something that you'd like to see from the club? Less stuff coming out and more surprises?
Yeah, I like surprises, Gio. I do like surprises. You go back to before social media and things like that. I mean, I only ever used to find out about a signing on Teletext or in Hammers News. You had to wait 2 weeks for Hammers News or the Newham Recorder, like a local paper. They used to report on West Ham to find out who we've signed. And I like them. I like that. And we all want to know. We're too impatient these days. It's like with a kit. Everyone's like making mock-ups of the kit and they're arguing it's going to be this, it's going to be that. It's a kit, It does make you, but I'm sitting there thinking, look at these people, and I'm looking, thinking, come on, where's the kit? Where's the kit? Where's the kit? That's just modern day, isn't it? Social media.
Yeah, we've got some more questions coming in the live chat for you. Hammer 1999 asks, who would win in a fight, Nicky or Graham?
I don't know.
Nicky. My money's going on Nicky.
No, Nicky's got the strength, but I tell you what, Graham's got a dark side. I remember driving home with him, I think Blackburn away in the Cup, when we won 5-1 there, and he was driving. He looked very stressed. You ever seen that film, Falling Down, with Michael Douglas, where he's in traffic and he just loses the plot? Well, someone cut Graham up, and honestly, I see a different side to him. Honestly, it scared me. It did. So I'm going to back Graham on this one.
Yeah, my money's on Nicky.
Nicky'll understand that one.
No, this was always going to happen. There was always going to be a Mark Noble question, wasn't there? So there's one for you, I'm afraid. Thomas says, as much as Ryan loves Noble, that's people always say that before they put the but, don't they? It's like
what's coming.
I don't mean to be offensive, but, and then it follows up with an offensive question. Yeah. But anyway, Thomas says, as much as you love Noble, do you think he needs to be replaced with a box-to-box midfielder?
Eventually he will have to be replaced, but he keeps proving people wrong. I said it the other week on a video. Towards the end of the season and beginning of the season, Noble's unplayable. It's like if he had played in Spain for the last 10 years, he'd be the best player in the world, because when the sun comes out, Noble shines, But look, people keep doubting him and they say his legs are gone and things like that. But look, he's Mr. West Ham. I've always said it. As long as he gets players around him that will do his running, you need a player like that. I think every club needs a player like that in their team. They need someone that plays for the badge. And we're lucky because we've got Declan Rice as well, who also, I get that feeling he wants to play for the badge and he loves the club. But I know, look, the day's going to come, Gio, where we're going to have to cry our eyes out when Noble announces his retirement. And I'm not looking forward to it, mate. And what is he now, 32?
I think so, yeah.
It's going to come, Gio, and don't, because I'm going to go.
I think he's got 2 years left on his contract, so this could be second last season.
He'll never leave West Ham. He'll never leave West Ham. When he retires, he'll go on the coaching, I reckon, and he'll stay within the club. I can't ever imagine Mark Noble in another. I know he went on loan in his younger days to, was it Ipswich and Hull, I think it was, and But he's Mr. West Ham, and I think every team needs a Mark Noble.
Do you not think he'll have to retire early-ish in order to do that? See, I was thinking this as well, and I would like to see him retire at West Ham, but I think he might have to retire 34 or something, which is quite young to an extent, because I don't think, as we progress and stuff, I don't think he's going to be playing first-team football, etc., etc. So do you not think he might have to sort of give up his career if he wants to end at West Ham rather than go for a couple of years at a lower league?
Yeah, I know what you mean, but do you know what? I get the feeling with Mark Noble that once he knows his time's up in the first team, he will be happy to sit on the bench and just be a bit part player. But as I said earlier, I mean, Mark Noble, every season he gets his doubters and people say he shouldn't be in the team, but he's dragged us through games. And when you go back to Tottenham away at the end of the season, you need a player like that who's going to put crunching tackles in, to liven the game up, liven the team up, because some of these foreign players that come over don't understand the rivalry and things like that. So you need a Mark Noble in the dressing room. We lost a big player like that last season in James Collins, but now young Declan Rice looks like he's going to take over that torch from Mark Noble, and hopefully, look, it's tough with Declan Rice because now he's in the England squad, all eyes are on him, and we're going to get bids, and it's how strong the club going to be. Because for me, Declan Rice is a future captain for not only West Ham, but I think England as well.
Or Ireland if he decides to go back. I'm sorry, I had to. James is asking, marks out of 10 for Pellegrini.
For last season, I'll give him a 6.5.
What did he do wrong?
Do you know what? I think sometimes it was his substitutions in key moments of games. I think that's what let him down a bit. But it's his first season. I don't really. We should judge him, but we shouldn't overjudge him, if that makes sense. He's new to an area, a club. He's managed Man City where he's had money. I know he got 100 million last summer, but this summer will be a bit different. He's not going to get that again. So this is where I think the second season is where we're gonna judge him. And I think his team selection at AFC Wimbledon still. I know people say about, you should play Adrian in the cups and things like that, but I always say play your strongest team. Fabianski's a goalkeeper. He could play every minute of every game. He's not running up and down the pitch. I know we've got to give Adrian a chance, but I'm not just blaming Adrian for AFC Wimbledon away as well, because there were some poor performances on that day. But I'll give him a 6.5. Like my old school report, my teachers say, could do better. For improvement.
Kazarek says Antonio or Yarmolenko to start right wing. I mean, this is what's going to be an interesting debate when the beginning of the season comes around, isn't it? Because you've got the guy that was signed by Pellegrini, who arguably is a better footballer, but then you've got the guy who's just gets West Ham and gives 100% and finishes the season in blinding form.
I mean, if you'd have asked me this sort of halfway through the season, I would have probably said I'd have had an unfit Yarmolenko instead of Antonio. But I think the last 10 games, Antonio was like the Antonio that we all fell in love with that last year at the Boleyn. He was unbelievable at the end. And that Tottenham game as well. Great goal. Watford away, he's a decent player. But it's good to have a headache like that. You're talking two good players there. And it's a good headache for Pellegrini to have. It's better for a manager to have a headache like that than look at his bench like Allardyce used to do, and you had like youngsters on there who had no chance of getting in the first team.
Dave G Hammer, you'll know him, says, which celebrity Hammer would you rather interview, Mia Kafila or Pixie Lott?
I'll go Pixie Lott.
Is Jade in the room?
Yeah.
Pixie Lott.
Ray Winston. No, I'll go Pixie Lott because she seems like a proper West Ham fan.
Nick Lane, interesting question. Have you ever tried to tone Dom down a little bit for his own protection?
Sorry, say it again.
Nick Lane says, have you ever tried to tone Dom down a little bit for his own protection?
Yeah, do you know what? That's a good question. Yeah, we have, because there's been times where, Dom's come over to us and he's fuming, and especially in the last couple of seasons, and we've put him on last, because when he first used to come on, he's angry and all things like that. And people say, yeah, but you get better views. But when it comes to, because when people come on our channel, on our fan cams, we feel like we have to sort of protect them a bit, because when they walk away, people come over and they want to fight them. And you feel like we're putting them in that situation. I mean, it's their choice to come on the camera. I mean, we don't tell them what to say. We hold the mic now, or Nicky holds the mic, and Dom says what he has to say. And look, Dom, I think it's what his Twitter says at the moment. He's Marmite. You either love him or hate him. I mean, there's sometimes where, I mean, I was holding the camera at Watford away, and he was at his rant about Anderson. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, we've just won 4-1. We've had a great end to the season, and you're ranting about Anderson, who I thought had a decent game. So, yeah, sometimes we do have to sort of say to Dom, look, go away, come back in 10 minutes. You know, calm down a bit, because sometimes, like, people think that he could be putting it on and things like that. And I know he gets his haters, but look, as I said, he's Marmite. You either love him or hate him. But we get some other good people on the channel as well, that say Nick Marsh. You know, I could listen to Nick Marsh all day long. I think he talks absolute sense, goes home and away. You know, he's just had a baby as well. Well, not Nick ain't had the baby. His missus had the baby. But, you know, it's, you know, we get some good people on now.
Right, last couple of questions and then we'll say au revoir. James Bull says, we all think that Rice, Balwin and Diop are strong and decent. Why is it we concede the most amount of shots? Where is the problem and what do we need to do?
Yeah, I mean, when Balbuena got injured midway through the season, I thought it sort of broke up that partnership. And then Ogbonna come in and he had a few dodgy games, but then him and Diop got a little sort of connection going. Then Balbuena come back in. So, yeah, it's you look at Fabianski, he had a great season, but he made the most saves and we conceded a lot of goals. I think that also comes down to midfield as well. You know, when you look at players like Anderson, you know, you want them to track back and sort of help out the back four. Sometimes Creswell and Masuaku as well, they seem to get forward, and then when you look at them, they sort of jog him back. So that's where I think we need to shore up a bit in the midfield to help out the back four a bit more.
Fantastic. Well, Ryan, thank you very much for joining us tonight. I really appreciate it. Keep up the good work. Hopefully you've got your heart and mojo back for your next episode of Ryan's Roundups. I miss them. Bring back Ryan's Roundups.
Gio, thank you so much for having me on, mate, and thank you for doing what you're doing tonight for Isla. I'll be watching all night. Well, I'm going to cut off in a minute because EastEnders is on a little while, so I'm joking, but I'm going to carry on watching. But thank you for having me on.
Take care, and I'll speak to you soon, Ryan. Good night. Thank you.
You can now purchase a season ticket for the Hammers Chat boats for the 2019-20 season. Prices start from £60 and includes entry to all boats events that we may have, including cup games and friendlies at the London Stadium next season. Please get in touch via email at hammerschat@gmail.com or via Twitter, hammers_chat. All details are in the description below. Get in touch and we'll see you next season.